Hello, everybody. What day is it today? Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So happy to be here live today again and to share some of my thoughts around um, well being, resilient, joy, happiness, and this skill of choosing freely how you feel, how you think, and how you experience your reality and your personal reality. And as I always say, and as I have shared here in the caption and the text that comes along with my live today, and as I always say, well being is a skill, freedom is a skill. And um, these days, we hear so much about elections, about what is real, what is not, what is true, what is not, what do we believe, who do we believe. So these are real poignant questions that we all are exposed to and are occupied with to some extent, probably. Uh, Surely the social media is full of that. And this always brings me back to the this saying that I sometimes share, that in our inner state, every day is election day. Every moment is election day or election moment. We are facing a choice with every single thought that we think and circumstance that we experience or face. We need to choose between one end or another, between um, one thought or the other, between one reaction or the other. And it is really the where we do have total freedom of choice. And again, that freedom of choice is a matter of practice. It is a skill. It is something that we practice. Again, it's not something that either we have it or we don't. It's something that we practice every day, every moment, possibly, so we can really master and sustain the mastery of this skill to be freely happy, freely resilient, freely confident. And so the tip I wanted to share with you, and this is just one little example of how you can practice that. And if you want to learn more tips like that, then of course continue following me, and also join me on the free 5 days workshop that I will be hosting in my Facebook group, Master Your Path. We will kick off this free 5 day workshop on December 7th. And there I will go and give live trainings every day, plus bonuses, plus live guided meditations, plus interviews, plus massive personal support on text messages and phone calls from me and my team. So my intention is that everyone participating in this free 5 day workshop will come out with real tangible tools to maintain and sustain this skill of being confident, resilient, joyful, fulfilled. So I call this workshop Anxiety's Simple Way Out, because there is a simple way out of anxiety. But if you suffer from other kind of emotional hurdles or pain or struggles, then this is definitely also for you. Or if you know anyone else who's struggling with such issues, then please let them know that there is a free 5 day workshop kicking off December 7th, and I will drop the link to join this workshop right here. And of course, you can also reach me on a private message or comment below, and I would love to send this link to you and tell you more about this workshop and have you joined and set up to have maximum support and results during these 5 day workshop. So for today's tip around practicing and maintaining the skill and this freedom to choose in your inner state, I want you to take a piece of paper, and I've shared this in the past, to take a piece of paper and cut it in the middle, or draw a line in the middle of that piece of paper, and write down on one side kind of thoughts that you're thinking. It's like the subtext in your mind when you are feeling anxious, depressed, worried, overwhelmed, angry, resentful, all those kinds of low energy emotions. Yes. What is the subtext of that feeling? How does it sound in your mind? Because in our mind, it's like a conversation that we're having, right? So what is the subtext of that conversation when you are feeling these low vibrational, low energy emotions like fear, resentment, frustration, anxiety, anger, sadness? Yes, how does it sound in your mind? And then on the other side of that line, you write down how you think when you actually feel high vibration or high energy emotions, because I'm sure that sometimes you do, or you have in the past, even if just for a moment. So how would that sound like in your mind? Yeah, for example, on the one side, you might write something like, I can't do this, or it's never working out for me, or they must think that I am XYZ, or what if this goes wrong, or yeah, I'm worried that, no, I hate that, no. Yeah, these would be kinds of the thoughts here. And on the other side, it might be something like, well, it's okay if this or that happens. So this, my last live video where I was sharing this specific shift between what if and it's okay if. But here, let's extend it to other optional kind of thought frames. So other examples for the kind of positive way of thinking might be something like, I'm happy to know, or I love knowing that XYZ, or in the past I managed to something that you've succeeded in the past, or yeah, stuff like that, stuff that, and thought patterns that are a little bit of a stretch for you when you're feeling low, but still something that you can catch up with, that you can believe, that you can reach. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a stretch, but still reachable for you. And once you write these things down in front of you, then it becomes very, very clear. It should very much help you in future circumstances to recognize which kind of track is playing in your mind at a given moment. Is it this track of the, let's call it the negative, or is it the positive track? Yeah. And when you find it to be the negative, then this is when election time is on. Thank you, Yael. Yael is here sharing that there are problems with reception. I was thinking that too, actually. I was seeing that it's coming and going. So I don't know, maybe it's with me. Hopefully I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. And yeah, hopefully this is working. So this is live streaming for you. You can never know, right? Let me know if this is working for you. Thank you, Yael. Toda. So back to where I was saying. So this is real-time election in your state, right? There is, perfect. Thank you, Yael. So this is the real-time election. Now you're in the little booth, right? You're in the little booth. You have this note and you have this note. What are you voting for? What is your choice? You're free to choose. No one's forcing you to think in a specific way. No one ever forces you. This is the one thing that no one can ever really control in your reality, is what goes on here between your ears. And you might feel out of control. That's okay. You might feel that you have no freedom to really choose what's going on there, and that's okay. But this is where I'm here to tell you that it's a practice, it's a skill. Yes, thank you, Yili. This is a skill. This is not something that you are given or that is taking away from you, that either you have it, you're blessed to have it, or you are cursed not to have it. No, it's a skill, just like playing piano or running a marathon or any other skill that you can think of. This is a skill. And this little tip here is a way for you, just one little way. I have tons of other tips and processes for you. And this is where I want you to click that link or send me a PM or write down here in the comments to let me know that you want to join my free 5 days workshop, where I'll be sharing lots of other tips and processes and also offer personal hands-on support. So I'm preparing this amazing journey for you with team members. So everyone participating have their own concierge, someone who is walking you by the hand and making sure that you're on track and that you're implementing what you're learning. So don't forget to sign up, and here is the link. And you can also reach to me if you can't find the link for some reason. So I can't wait to have you join there. So, but this is just one little tip. Yeah, I will read your text in a moment, your comment in a moment. This is one little tip of how you can practice this freedom to choose one way or another. And let's see this comment here in Hebrew. That's very good. That's a very good comment. So Yael here is saying, I'll free translate from Hebrew, that to choose what I want to think, I need first to understand what am I gaining? What is my payoff from the bad emotions or from the negative emotions? Sorry, that's free translation on live. So it might not be the perfect translation, but you're saying, Yael, that in order for you great, I'm happy that you like the tip. So in order for me to choose what I want to think, I need first to understand what am I gaining? What is the payoff from the negative emotions? Well, absolutely. Thank you very much for this input. Well, there's a lot to say about this, but one thing that I want to share right now is that negative emotions are addictive. I hope I'm not making anyone angry here. I'm not blaming you for your addiction, but negative emotions are addictive, and there are biological explanations to this. How is that addictive? Yeah. So once we are it's like a cycle. We think negative thoughts, let's call it this way. We think negative thoughts and negative thought patterns, which produces specific hormones in our body, which produces, again, more negative thinking, which produces more hormones in our body. And this creates our inner state. So what we gain, what is the payoff, is just like someone who is addicted to any kind of outer external substance like alcohol or drugs or whatever. Then the payoff is that feeling of temporal relief of getting the hit, right, of the substance that one is addicted to. So it's exactly the same thing. It's the familiar. And in our language, Yael, Hebrew, the word addiction and the word familiar are the same root, right? Mukar, vehitmakrut. So we are addicted to what we are used to what we are familiar with. So the payoff is the comfort that we feel when we are in our comfort zone, when we are in our familiar state. Even if it's a negative state, even if it has negative outcomes, even if we suffer, it's still familiar to us more than the new, more than the change. So change is always stepping into an unknown state. And in that, there is an uncomfortable phase to it. Change is uncomfortable, right? So I hope I'm giving you some answer to your. I hope this is a good response. Some good stuff to think about, Yael, and everybody who's watching or who will be watching. And again, this is why this is a matter of practice. It's not enough to decide that we want to change. It's not enough to know that we want to change something in our patterns or in our life or in our inner state. then we need to commit to that decision. And this is the practice. This is the ongoing practice. And again, there are different ways to do that. It's not just one way, just like when someone is practicing to master a musical instrument, for example. So they don't practice just one exercise, right? They need to practice scales and chords and this piece of music and that piece of music and, you know, all these kinds of different exercises that a musician practice every day to master their instrument and to be prepared for the concert or whatever. So exactly the same with our inner state, with our skill to be free to choose our inner state, to freely choose our inner state. And this is an everyday practice, just like any other skill. And it is compound with different exercises or different processes that one can do and practice daily to develop and maintain and sustain this skill. So what I'm sharing here today is just one little tip. And it's not something that you do once and that's it. It's something that you can come back to again and again and do it on different kinds of emotional states or circumstances in your life or reactions that you tend to have or things that you're trying to achieve and kind of feel stuck with or anything like that. You can do this process, very simple process. You draw a line in the middle of the paper. On the one side, you write the subtext that is in your mind that you can recognize that you're thinking when you experience this pattern, of whatever that is, that emotional pattern, that reactional pattern, that repeating circumstance. What is going on here in between your ears when you experience this reoccurring pattern that you would like to change? And then on the other side of that line, what is the kind of subtext? What is the kind of thoughts you're having when you succeed to experience the desired circumstance or emotional state that you want to expand and establish and maintain and sustain? And if you have no idea because you feel that you've never experienced such a positive state, as opposed to the reoccurring pattern, then you can just see how you can reframe the old or current thinking pattern in a slightly different way to make it more positive than negative. So as I said, there's always two choices. So this is kind of my last live, and if you haven't watched it, you can find it on my feed and wherever you're watching this. So this is going now live on YouTube and on my Facebook page and profile and group. So wherever you are, go to the live from a couple of days ago where I talk about what if versus it's okay if. And this is a perfect example of how you can reframe a specific thought just slightly, just replacing one little word to make it more positive. And again, this is what I'm talking about. Every moment or every day is election day in your inner state. You always have this note, and now it's on you. What are you voting for? What are you choosing? And it is a matter of practice, And what's most important when you practice anything, so this is basically a second tip here, what is most important in every practice is keeping a very subtle balance between commitment and persistence, super important, and compassion and softness with yourself when you fail, when you don't succeed, when you don't practice. So be consistent, be committed, be persistent, super, super important, but don't forget to be self-loving and soft and compassionate with yourself so you can keep going. Just like a little baby learning how to walk, when they fall, you don't get disappointed or angry or resentful to them when they fall, right? You know that this is how they learn, and they'll get up and they'll try again, and eventually they will independently walk. So just like that, be with yourself, compassionate, sensitive, patient, and loving, and also be committed to this highest practice of the highest skill to be free to choose in your inner state how you feel, how you think, and how you react, and therefore what is your reality. So I hope this is helpful. Please comment below if you have any questions, or if you find this helpful, please find the link to my free 5-day workshop starting on December 7th in my Facebook group. So click this link and share this if you know anyone who you think might benefit from this kind of support and guidance. Thank you, Yael. Yes, absolutely. This is something so important to keep in mind. We are always like babies learning how to walk, right? So we have to be compassionate with ourselves and yet keep going, getting up and walking. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you, Ranye. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you so much for watching and joining me. Please share this with anyone that you know that might need to hear this message today. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.